PSPW Podcast. I am Quote, and I'm joined here with my good friend, Peef Rimgar. Hello, Peef.
Hey.
So this is the first PSPW Podcast. Why are we doing this? Well, we thought you bunch of dirty marks would want something to listen to on a weekly basis, so I think it
Well,
was you had the idea for this, right? Or was it me? I
I
don't remember.
think Briss tried to claim it. I'll claim it though. Fuck it.
Oh yeah! Speaking of the bastard that's not here today, Chris Brown. Apparently he had to sleep because he has work in the morning.
Pussy.
Yeah, what a puss. Just stay up. Wait, look. Oh my god. I had one night where I had to work at like 6 a.m., but I was up at like 2 a.m. just downing wine. Just a big bottle of wine, just drinking it right down.
Why?
Because I could.
You know,
Needless
that's
to
fair
say,
enough.
Needless to say, I did enter work hungover, still like the super hungover state, like where you're actually still like kind of drunk
Yeah.
because I had only slept like 2 hours.
Good.
I stumbled into work at like 6 a.m. and my coworker could smell it off of me.
Alright,
All right,
let's jump into this payback show. I feel like that's
alright,
the first step.
yeah.
So, it's a pre-show.
did you
We
watch the
had... Yeah, I actually watched the pre-show. Well,
Yeah,
I watched the
I
match.
didn't watch the. I didn't watch the match. I watched Miz TV, so I'll let
Okay,
you
so
talk
we have
about
the opposite perspective because I didn't watch Miss
it. All
TV.
right, cool.
Okay, so the match, I mean,
All right.
it was a match. It's happened.
Standard
It's a
fare.
Raw match. I do have to say, Luke Gallows, stop the super kick.
Oh
End
my
it.
god.
It's the worst move. You can't extend your long leg properly.
What?
End it.
He's a big guy. He should be doing big boots. Like
Yes.
this is
Thank
this
you.
is a problem. This is a problem that I have with a lot of people. Is doing the wrong moves for your body. Now I know for some people they can kind of pull it off. Like Luke Harper can do it just fine.
Right.
So he's like kind of an exception to it. But when I see like big guys going for super kicks and they can't really extend their leg, like they need to stop that. Like
Yeah.
big people
If you
do
can
big
do
moves.
it, fucking do it. Commit to it.
Yeah,
But you cannot
exactly.
do this move.
He's a big guy, so he should be going for big boots. He should not be
Exactly.
going for super kicks just because it's a bullet club thing. Like, no. Let Carl do that stuff. Like
Yeah.
Carl's, he's agile. You got a smaller frame, and he can actually like move around a lot better. So let him do that.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
Other than that, I mean, it had a cool finish because the whole finish was they were setting up for the what's it called, the fucking Bullet Club move that I can't remember the name of, Magic Killer.
Magic Killer.
Yeah, um, they were going for it, and then Cat on Enzo, of course. Then Cass came back in and big booted Carl, and it made Enzo fall into a small cradle. Which I like that finish. It was good. It kind of protected him. I didn't hate it. It was a match.
I hate cradle finishes, but I will let them go in some cases.
For the sake of Enzo getting a pin in his career, I think it was needed.
Yeah, because I mean, Enzo pinning anybody clean.
Imagine him going over dominantly.
Oh, we don't need that. Enzo is,
Exactly.
like, Triple H himself has admitted that Enzo's not a wrestler.
I know.
So he
What a
shouldn't be,
fuck
like,
you
yeah.
that interview was. Well,
Oh,
didn't
that
he
was
actually say, like, this guy will make us no money in the ring?
Yeah, like it was something along the lines of that. Basically, saying as an in-ring performer, he's not a draw, but his
Yeah.
character and mic work is where he shines, which is 1,000% true.
Yeah. Okay, now, Miz TV, that's all you.
So Miz TV, honestly, it was a pretty typical Miz TV segment. You had Miz kind of digging into Balor a little bit, kind of calling him like a failure and stuff like that for
failure?
getting injured. Well, yeah, for getting injured and not being able to live up to the expectations of the champion and stuff like that.
Okay, I can see
And
that.
Balor came off pretty well in this segment. His mic work was solid. Not usually what we're used to for Balor quality. Like it was a bit above what he would normally do on the mic, which is to say,
Okay.
not the most impressive, but he was good here. He put over himself in the Balor Club and all that. Like it was really nice. And of course, Miz became a member of the what was it? like just got my ass kicked.
Oh
like,
yeah, on Raw. I kind of like that.
Something like that.
I know I'm getting a bit ahead of myself because we'll get to Raw later, but I actually really like this promo on Raw.
Yeah, oh yeah, the Raw promo, it played off of the Payback promo really well, but we will get to that in a bit. Overall, it was a nice segue to get into the show because they needed to kill time, and it was a decent way to.
That's
and
true.
also a way to get Finn some exposure for not being on the show.
I still find it weird the people they left off the show. Like they didn't book the Intercontinental Championship. They didn't book Finn. They didn't book. There's something else I'm forgetting.
What? Duh, 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 duh.
Well, not Brock. I mean, you can only do so much with them.
Brock, there's a reason why Brock is not on the show, and it's because Brock is part time.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
But we'll get into that too.
All
right, so
the first match on the card: Jericho versus Owens.
What do you think of that?
I didn't hate it. To me, well, I actually quite liked it. I felt like it was just a shorter version of their Mania match. It was just as good, just shorter. And I'll say that I really liked the whole selling the hand thing too.
Yeah.
With Jericho murdering his hand for saving him again, and then he can't hit the pop-up powerbomb because of it. I like little things like that, so I like that part. It was a fine match.
I didn't like it as much as the Mania match, mostly because I felt like it worked at a much slower pace overall. Like the typical. Yeah, I felt like it was working the typical like Kevin Owens Raw sort of pacing, where he just like kind of grabs you in a headlock and has you on the mat for most of the match.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. I don't know why he works like that.
He does it to piss people off.
And I guess,
from like a fan perspective. From a fan perspective, it pisses me off. So, I'm getting worked by Owens a little bit.
Yeah, but when's the point where you're hurting a product?
It comes after, I would say after the first 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Because, like, the first 20 seconds, I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch, you're doing it. But, like, after that, I'm just, like, kind of, like, looking at the time, like, is this gonna end? And, there was a little bit of that in the Mania match, but I don't feel like there was as much of that as there was.
No, they went all out on Mania. There's no doubting that.
Yeah, they went hard.
And they went for, like, 20 minutes, too.
Yeah.
Something stupid.
This match, I will say, like, the psychology with the hand spot, that was probably the one thing that I liked about it more than their Mania match. I felt that there was more psychology with this match.
Yeah.
With their Mania match, I liked the action, but I felt like it was kind of lacking a bit of heat. This match had some of that heat, but I felt like it was just not as well paced as their Mania match, and that's why I didn't like it as much overall.
I'll also point out, but
it was still good though.
Not as a dig to him, Jericho just looks real old in there to me. I just can't get past that sometimes. It's
the combination of how his body looks with him being a lot slower in the ring.
Yeah.
So he has to really have his character work like carry him through this run, which it totally has.
It has wildly successfully. Like,
this is definitely, I wouldn't say this is his worst run in terms of in-ring ability.
No,
I think his previous run, like before he had left and come back, like the Fandango run that I call it, I think that was
does that really count as a run? I would count that run as a part of this run, kind of. Maybe. No, I guess not.
No, because his character work was a lot different. Like, he was still kind of running off of. He was kind of running off of the juice or whatever from his previous run, where he was still trying to be really flashy and stuff, even though he was old as whatever.
His 08 run is definitely his best.
He was trying to act like he was young.
Yeah.
But this time he's kind of, I don't know. He's embracing the fact that he's old, so he has to be really goofy to make up for it, and he's doing that really well.
I can see that, yeah.
And his in-ring work, while it's not, up to, the mid-2000s or early 2000s or 90s Jericho standard, I do think it's slightly better simply because of who he's working with.
Yeah.
He's working with a much more talented group of people than he was previously. Like, come on, he wrestled Fandango at WrestleMania.
Listen, somebody had to do it.
Fandango is not bad. But, he's not Kevin Owens. He's not AJ Styles.
Yeah, I'm with you. He's definitely been protected a lot more with his opponents in this run. I feel he probably had a say in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Also, no, Owens was looking fucking svelte. Dude is losing weight noticeably.
Yeah, he's looking a bit slimmer. Like looking back to his like the beginning of his WWE like main roster run, he looked like a balloon.
Oh god.
But to be honest, I don't think he'll ever be as big as he was around, I would say, the end of his indie run.
Was he big?
He was big.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess because
like,
he was trying to he had to pass WWE physicals and he couldn't do nothing.
Yeah, like there was a point where like right before he was starting to slim down a little bit, he was still like he was massive.
I gotcha.
And it was generally towards like the end of his indie run.
Yeah, it probably
yeah,
had to do something with the wellness policy.
Good stuff overall.
Not to bury him, just saying that's how it goes sometimes with any guys.
Yeah. So next is the Cruiserweight Championship match. Neville versus Austin Aries. What did you think about it?
I liked it, but I didn't like the finish.
The finish was dog shit.
It was, yeah.
It was,
I asked people defending this finish, and I was really confused because it just killed it. Although I understand it because it is a B pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So why give up your big match? But at the same time, you had the big match already. It was a fucking WrestleMania. You gotta blow off your shit.
What did you think of that Mania match, by the way? Were you a fan of it at all? Or?
I didn't care about it.
Neither did I.
They didn't give me a reason to. I think this was far better.
Yes, I actually like this match more. And I saw some mixed reactions to the Mania match. Some people were like praising it, saying it was like the best show on the card. Some were saying
Which
that
was
it was
stupid,
like,
but objectively wrong.
And some were saying that it was completely awful. I'm somewhere in the middle. Probably leaning a bit towards the negative side. I thought it was just very standard cruiserweight fare, except for the fact that it was really long. And there were some parts where they just weren't doing anything, and I was kind of confused why that was happening.
I'll point out the one thing that was a wild, just the only thing I could note of the WrestleMania match was how dry Neville's hair was.
Yes.
It was so weird to see someone with long, dry hair in this company.
Yeah, they're normally very soaked. I guess Neville's keeping some Mania standards for himself.
Yeah.
But I feel like for their Payback match, though, it was honestly, to me, it kind of felt like a standard cruiserweight match.
It did.
And if you've seen like any of my ratings, like, you know, I'm very well known for giving like 1/4 and 3/4 ratings on matches, and that's because I always feel like they're just a bit above that star standard, or they're just a bit under.
Yeah, fair.
And like, I'm always used to like, I typically refer to like cruiserweight TV matches as like the good old 275 instead of like the 205, because I always end up like rating them like 2 3/4 sort of thing. And this match I feel like was just a bit above that. I felt there was a sprint around the middle that I thought was just gold.
Yeah.
That was amazing, but the finish totally killed it for me.
Also point out, I feel like there's a part of this match that I just noted. It's not really it is an issue, but it's probably just a me thing. The fact that they have chin locks in this fucking division is so stupid to me.
Oh my god, it's like, I understand some of the heels kind of doing it, but again, it's like with Owens, like you do it for longer than 20. And the cruiserweights shouldn't, other than like, some really snarky heels, shouldn't even be trying anything like that.
Exactly. Like, the whole point of this division should be just like non-stop go. Let them work like a weirder style of match so that their division actually gets over.
Just have like an 8-minute sprint. Like they don't have to
have long matches. Yeah.
They can, if they really want to showcase their abilities and have like really nice match of the year contender sort of thing. But even then, when they're given long matches, they're not doing it.
Exactly.
So, it's overall, I'm still not impressed with the cruiserweight division. I'm impressed with individual matches, like some of the the high body count scrambles, I'll call them, like the big like fatal 4-ways and 5-ways and stuff. Some of those have been pretty solid because
those they let them work this style that doesn't stop all the time. Like if you have a 5-way, you have two guys in the ring, 3 guys selling on the outside. When a guy gets gas, he just comes in and replaces.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it might be a flaw of the personnel. It might be a flaw of the writing. I don't know.
They need to
They need to
they
go
need to
all in on this
research.
division, or they need to not have it.
I think they need to do some research with the cruiserweights, like the agents and producers and stuff. They need to start looking into Dragon Gate a lot more. It's like with Dragon Gate, they know how to book cruiserweights.
I'm
They
gonna be
know
honest.
how to book matches.
I've never watched one of their shows, so I don't really know. I can't really back it up.
I I don't watch Dragon Gate a lot, admittedly, but I do poke into a few matches every now and then. Like if I hear tag team match, because Dragon Gate is honestly like the king of multi-man tag matches.
Really?
Like New Japan does a lot of them, and they're usually like filler crap with occasionally a good one.
Yeah, they're just kind of
WWE's
openers.
are kind of similar to New Japan's in a way, except they book them a bit differently.
Well, the thing is,
Um,
when New Japan does a 6-man, it's just to fill time on a card and to open the
yeah,
show. When WWE
it's either,
does one, it usually means they don't have plans for you.
yeah, that's true too. Um, and also, like I said, New Japan and WWE, because with New Japan multi-man matches, they put a lot of focus on the individual feuds
Right.
within the match, because they usually like to do like a one-to-one sort of thing, like, okay, these four people are specifically feuding with these four people,
That's
let's
very
put
true.
them in a match together. WWE has done that, but they don't traditionally do that. They just, like, there might
Right.
be a situation where it's like three people feuding against two people, and then they just,
Throw
the
in a
third
third.
person, yeah, because they'll throw in a third just to make it even. Like, oh yeah, this person is angry at this guy today for no reason, so I'll throw them in.
That's what you're
Um,
saying.
but the cruiserweights, the cruiserweights are kind of doing that. Like they have the sort of New Japan style booking with their multi-man matches when they happen,
Mhm.
but they don't wrestle them well. They wrestle them like they're just like a WWE match, and they should really have a sort of like Dragon Gate style focus where everyone is just going ballistic like all the time. They're building towards that, but they're not there yet.
Right. I agree. Yeah.
So still a decent match, but finish killed it.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, moving on, we have the tag title match. What'd you think of this one? Because I've heard mixed
I
reviews.
I actually really like this match. I will get the negative. I want to get the negatives out of the way first. Sheamus could have been a bit better in the match. I thought
Really?
that some of his work is, yeah, he had some great spots and kicked Jeff's fucking tooth out of his mouth. That was great, but
We'll get
I
back to
felt
that in
that.
here in a second, too, by the way. Because I
What's
get real
that?
mad about that. Sheamus and the tooth incident.
Okay, well, I kind of like that spot. That kick was like, but some of his work here and there in the match was not as good as it could have been. But
Really?
I, yeah, he just, I'd have to go back and watch the specific spots, but I remember like seeing like a spot or two where it's like, come on, Sheamus, like you could have done that a bit better. But besides that, I really enjoyed the match.
Yeah,
It was, with high intensity. There was just a lot of moves just everywhere.
yeah.
um,
I love this match, and when I saw mixed reviews for it, I was kind of surprised because I was like, this is fucking great.
yeah,
Like Sheamus, I guess I see what you're saying with Sheamus, but it's kind of just his work in general. He's rough around the edges in a way. No
yeah.
fault to him. He's still a great worker in general,
Hmm.
but he's got some rough edges. There was one spot that stuck out to me was him hitting White Noise on Matt off the damn top rope, which looked like it
Oh
killed
my
him,
god, that
killed
was
him
beautiful.
dead. It was very good. Fuck, what was I about to say about this damn match? Oh yeah,
The finish?
the the finish was kind of wacky, but I didn't
Yeah, I
hate
didn't.
it.
I wasn't. I didn't hate the finish. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but it was just kind of there for me.
I don't like the idea that Jeff's move can kill a guy from either side. It's just weird
Yeah,
to
that's
me.
it's a bit strange.
Because then what are the physics of? I don't know. It's just a weird thing to me. But in general, the match was very good.
Yeah,
With Sheamus though, I mean, it was rooted with fucking Observer Brian Alvarez calling Sheamus unsafe and saying he should be fired for the sake of injury.
no.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't get how you can. This dude, I don't even know. When I saw this
I don't
complaint, I
listen.
was
I don't listen
shocked.
to Brian's crap anymore.
I mean, I still, I don't have anything against the dude, but it's just kind of like, when you're overreacting to something at that level, I don't get it. Obviously, there are steps that can be taken to avoid these incidents, but what are you gonna really do? Shit happens.
Yeah, that's honestly what I chalk it up to. Shit happens. Like you kicked him in the face, and his tooth popped. Okay, shit happens.
This
You
probably
see how many
isn't in.
injuries?
This probably is not in the top 100 worst things that Jeff has had to endure in a ring.
Like honestly, like you see all the stunts he's done over the past
Seriously,
like 15 years. Like the dude's a maniac.
He took this kick to the face and he went, "Oh shit, there goes my tooth. Oh well, keep working." He did not care. He kept working. He did not tag out. He was fine. I did not get that criticism at all. It was absurd to me. Other, other than that, though, what about the heel turn? What'd you think of that?
I've seen a lot of people complaining about it, saying, why turn Cesaro heel? I'll get to that in a sec, but I was down for it. I've been wanting this heel turn for weeks now. I quite frankly don't like Sheamus as a face. I feel his character is naturally suited to be a heel, and I want to see Cesaro have another chance to be a heel because his first, I believe this is his third heel run, I believe. His first two were, I think it's his third heel run because I think he debuted as a heel.
Yeah, he debuted. Yeah, that's right. Because they turned heel. They turned Kid and Cesaro.
It might be his fourth. I don't remember.
Maybe I don't know. He's had a lot of weird runs.
Yeah, it might be his fourth. I don't know. But I remember like his original run, like, a singles competitor and like U.S. champ and stuff.
With Oksana.
I felt he was really bland then, obviously, because he had no character at that point.
Yeah. And his valet was fucking Oksana, who can't cut a promo. Who wrote that? I don't know. Continue. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't. And then he had heel as with Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Where
Real Americans. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, he didn't really do too much in that stable. I thought it was kind of cute, but
I liked it. I liked it in the way that it got him over as a face, which it really wasn't meant to, but it did.
It did help get him over, though.
Yeah.
Like, it helped me believe in him a bit more.
Yep.
Like, I felt like, okay, maybe Cesaro can actually... Like, I knew he was good.
Yeah.
But, like, I just wasn't confident of how well he could do in WWE.
Like, I can see...
now, I'm still skeptical.
I can see a dude do moves all day long, but that doesn't really mean anything in this company. It's been proven time and time again.
Yeah. And, like, but, like, I feel with this heel run and him working with Sheamus in that way, I feel he's going to have a great time with it.
I hope so.
People have soured on him, and like as a heel because of his past failures. But like, I've heard his promos and stuff. Like he's had like I think like one or two promos since turning. It's a lot better. I don't understand what happened, but it's like he just went up a step in terms of mic quality.
Yeah, I can see that. Like his promo on Raw was actually pretty well. His promos are weird to me because when he cuts them, he just kind of, to no fault of his own, I guess, he just kind of seems confused at points.
Yeah, and
I think he can work through that though. I've never hated one of his promos.
My thing with Cesaro promos is that they never properly sound like promos. They always sound like he's just part of a discussion, like he's just having a chat with somebody, and that's why I've always felt like I've never been able to take him seriously when he has promos.
Fair.
But I feel like now he's being a bit more open and relaxed. Like he's not. It doesn't sound like he's trying to go over notes, not as much, And we'll see him develop a bit more over the coming weeks and months. But like he feels like somebody kind of like unlocked him a little bit, and now he gets to actually show a bit more personality, more so than just being that nice guy who wants to be recognized for his talents.
I can see that.
He's like, I'm fucking Cesaro, like. But overall, I loved the match. It was probably my favorite match of the night, in all honesty.
Yeah,
definitely the one I was the most invested in.
This was definitely my match of the night.
All right.
Well, I don't know, though.
So,
That House of Horrors match.
oh god, that's
We'll get there, because we still have one more match to go over on this show.
yeah,
So, the women's
women's
match.
match.
This match shocked me with how good it was. Oh, let me preface this. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way. Let me go ahead and put it out there. I could be one of 2 people on this earth that dislikes Alexa Bliss. Maybe I am. I am fine with that. If I am one of the 2 human beings on this earth who doesn't like her, I will accept that. Because Jesus Christ, I cannot stand her. That being said, this match was great. I don't know if that's a testament to Bayley, or if maybe she actually had a good performance. This was a good match.
I really liked it too. I would say, like, I was kind of debating with myself how much I liked this match, and
Right.
I did honestly enjoy it. I had a few problems with it, and most of them did have to do with Alexa. So, like when you said that you greatly dislike her, I can understand why. I love her as a character. I think she's one of the best characters on the roster right now, like male or female.
Okay.
But her in-ring work is just so
It's offensive
not
at
there.
points.
Like,
Like-
she has some cool moves, but then she just doesn't.
But she
do
fucks
a lot
them
of
up.
stuff properly. Yeah,
She fucks
and
up her moves. She fucks up her own gimmicks. She goes for this wacky handspring thing, and every time you know she's not going to hit it, she telegraphs it in such a way where she just goes
Yeah.
straight over the person, as if
needs
she
to stop
could
doing
not
that.
possibly hit them.
Do you remember her? You probably remember this. Her old finisher, the laziest top rope move I've ever seen, other than a double.
No,
nothing.
what is it?
It's like I guess it's like some sort of like moonsault or splash.
Oh,
but
Twisted
like,
Bliss.
Yeah, Twisted
Yeah, I
Bliss.
fucking
yeah,
hate
all
that
she
move.
Does, she turns like 180 or
It's a
something. and
flat
that's it.
spin.
Yeah, it looks so bad.
It's awful. It's as if she cannot do a moonsault, but wish to do a moonsault greatly.
Yeah.
I
It's not good.
Alexa's side though, this match was good. I had to ask though, was this a clean win, or are they trying to make it where the whole ring post gimmick was like
Nah,
something?
I'm thinking they're looking at it pretty clean, because like that's something that she did. She threw Bayley into the post from
That's
her
true.
kick out, and then
I guess there's
won
nothing
the
illegal
match
about
off of
that.
No, there isn't. It's a perfectly legal move.
It's just like the shoulder thing where you can do the okay. So yeah, it's clean.
Yeah.
That kind of surprised
Yeah,
me,
it's
but at the same time it
definitely
didn't
clean.
because it's such a WWE thing to do in her hometown.
Yeah.
I don't get.
I was totally expecting Alexa to win it.
I was
because
too.
just-
That's what I predicted.
But not just because of the whole like hometown thing, but
Yeah.
also because I feel like Bayley's just I don't know what's wrong with her.
Bayley has just floundered in this extravagant way, to no fault of her own, really. She's had nothing to work with, but she's also given them nothing to work with. I guess it's not good.
I think both sides are at fault.
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons why Bayley was so good in NXT was because the producers and agents in NXT are amazing.
Yeah.
Like whoever it is like directing those matches down there, like they need to be given some sort of, because they are so good at making not so good wrestlers look amazing.
I'll point out that they have the benefit that they don't have 3 hours of TV to fill every week.
They don't.
They just have an hour,
So,
and half of that can be recaps. I mean, they kind of have an advantage.
You're right. So, they have to make their big shows larger than life, which
Yeah.
they almost always do.
There you go. Takeovers are always
But, like-
great, but like when do you hear someone talking about the TV before it? I haven't watched an episode of NXT in probably a year now, and I haven't missed anything really because I've watched the takeover shows.
I've been watching an episode here and there. It's some episodes are bad, some are decent. But going back to the match, I feel like, and Bayley in general, I feel like she's just, her match quality hasn't been anywhere near as good, and some of it I would honestly put it on the producers for not booking it well, but some of it is just her doing things very sloppily.
I'd
And the
agree
same
with
has
that.
been the case with, and other than like her feud with Charlotte, I would pretty much say the same for Sasha. Like
Yeah.
Sasha has just been so sloppy since her main roster call up. Like, oh.
I'll point the one woman who has not been hindered by the main roster, I think, is Charlotte.
Charlotte, absolutely.
There is
Charlotte.
no way you can deny that she is the best woman in this company. And saying anything else would shock me at this point. She is insanely good on all levels. She got a watchable thing out of Nia Jax, despite being dropped on her neck. It wasn't good.
I think a lot of people would disagree with me on this. And I'm not going to knock Charlotte because I think that Charlotte, she is debatably the best.
Okay.
But another person that gets slept on a lot because of her not really getting much in-ring time is Emma. I think Emma is really, really, really good, and she just does not get the exposure she deserves.
I'm going to be real. The only time I've ever been impressed with her, I guess, is the Asuka match. But it's against fucking Asuka. She's the best woman. She's, other than Charlotte, I'd say. And debatably, Asuka's the best woman in this fucking company. Hands down.
Asuka's amazing. Like, in the scope of WWE, I would say the best female performer, like, bar none. Like, she's crazy good.
I'd say she's the best in ring, but Charlotte's the best all around.
Yeah, Charlotte is the best all around because her character is a bit more developed, and you get to see more of it. Asuka is in this weird position now where her character is starting to be noticed a bit more. Like, she didn't really have much of a developed character. Like,
she had none.
Run. No, because she was going back and forth between being this kick-ass face and being this like weird monster sort of heel, even though she doesn't really have the stature of a monster heel. She just has the moveset of one.
And the fact that she's foreign, which making it.
Yeah, which. But in her past couple of matches, like for Asuka, we've started to see like her character come out, and we can see that she's actually like a conniving bitch.
Yes.
And we'll do whatever it takes to win. Charlotte, we've been seeing that, so I can totally agree that Charlotte is like the best overall performer right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to see more from Bayley and Alexa, in the sense that I want to see Bayley have that spark that she had in her prime in NXT, which was like, leading up to her getting the NXT Women's Championship. Because she pretty much fell off after that.
Yeah. I feel like the problem, though, is that now that she's lost the belt, they're going to want to invest all in on Alexa versus Sasha. And I can't blame them for that, because that will be good. I think.
Will it, though?
Maybe. Okay, look, if... I would say that Sasha in general is better than Bayley in general. So logically speaking, if Bayley had a good match with Alexa, Sasha should be able to have a great match, right? I'm gonna pretend that's how wrestling works for a minute.
We'll pretend that's how wrestling works. But yeah, the match was still good. Alexa's fire was great. Like her hard-hitting moves, like they were good.
Yeah, she had her moments, but she also had her moments. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Okay,
right, so...
we can't avoid it anymore.
No, we can't. I was trying to talk about.
I know. I was hoping we could just vamp for like ever about the women. Oh god, this fucking match.
Okay, so House of Horrors, and we'll talk about this in full, and then we'll get to Joseph. And
yeah, we'll talk about the whole experience, not just the fucking Mikey part.
I don't want to talk about this 2 times.
Yeah, I want to get through it. I want to just be done.
So this was, without a doubt, and like I am saying this with 100% full confidence, this is the worst thing I have seen produced by WWE in years.
Okay. Let's slow down for a minute. There's been some pretty shitty things in this company.
Okay, name some shitty stuff, and I'll compare them to this. If you're gonna compare it to the WrestleMania match, that's not fair.
Give me a number of years that I can go back.
When I say that, I usually mean something like 5 or 6. Like I'm not going so far back as to say like, oh, this has been the worst, thing since the Attitude Era. It hasn't. There's been some really bad stuff.
Yeah.
But I'd say in more so this modern era of WWE, like talking about like not the universe era, but like the sort of like reality era that
fucked up era we're in now. Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay, I got one that's worse than this. I thought of something that's worse than this match. Vladimir Kozlov's entire career. That's worse than this. This match gets that credit. That's it.
That's fair. Kozlov was really bad.
Okay, let's go through this bit by bit. So they I don't even know where to begin with this. The limo is my first issue with this. Why is Randy taking a limo to the House of Horrors?
I'll just say that his wife rented it for him.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say that he didn't even want.
He didn't even what?
He didn't even want to show up in the limo. He wanted to take his own car, drive all the way to Missouri for that. Wink, wink. But his wife was like, no, you're not.
Oh my god.
No way.
Okay.
You are not doing that, sir. You will rent a limo and you will be happy. I can't think of any other logic on it.
Yeah, I can't either. So the limo pulls up, drops off Randy at school, gives him his lunch, hugs him, tells him to have a good day at school. He goes up to the spooky house. It's really not spooky. I could probably go down the street and find a burnt out meth lab spookier.
I might be able to see something like that from out my window.
I could actually do that. It was just a house with blue lights on it, and it was night. It was nighttime. Quote at
I'm in San Jose.
Not in San Jose. It was 7 p.m. Okay. I guess I've just thought of the defense of this. In their defense, the House of Horrors isn't in San Jose. It's this spooky other realm. So I guess in their defense, it makes sense.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Kind of.
It wasn't in Missouri. It totally wasn't in San Jose or anything like that. It was. Maybe that's what the limo was for. Actually, maybe the limo was.
It was an interdimensional limo.
Yeah, it is an interdimensional transporter.
But then, how do you get to the finish?
We'll get to that. So, let's see. Randy enters the house, and my biggest issue with this whole damn thing, Randy did not look like he gave a single fuck about it.
Why would he?
Well, the whole point of this setup, and I understand part of it because of Randy's personality, but the whole point of this was that he was, supposed to be spooked, and he was supposed to be a bit shaken, even ever so slightly shaken. He didn't have to be shitting his pants, shaking in his boots, sort of thing. But he could have been at least mildly intimidated.
Yeah.
Or he could have gone in being super super brave. If I'm some American hero sort of thing. But he didn't even look like that. He just looked like he was walking into some dirty old house that he had to fix up. He was just oh god.
He's just getting ready to make an estimate for the contractor or something.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. He was walking around making an estimate. He's baby's hanging from the ceiling.
Wait, I'm sorry. We skipped. Oh, didn't mean to. That was a bad one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hole in the wall.
We skipped the spooky tractor.
Oh god. I forgot about that.
That is when I knew this was not going anywhere good.
I laughed so hard when that tractor. Because at first I thought maybe Gray or some other person was driving it, and I'm oh, who's the goon that's driving this? And then I saw no one was on it, and I'm just oh my god.
This entire match felt like the setup to a debut that just never happened.
Yeah.
So they fight in the house for a little bit. Bray disappears 6 times. Randy goes into the spooky doll room, which was just bizarre and had no purpose, along with everything else.
Yeah, they got thrown into a wall, I think.
They teased the basement being important, but before he even got near the basement, Bray's arm just came out and grabbed him, and then the basement never played into the match again, despite being the spookiest part of any house. By default. They keep fighting. There's a point in this where it looks like Bray's knocked over the counter, and he's bent over it, and Randy grabs a pan, and there was a fucking minute of my life where I thought Randy was gonna spank him. And that would have been the blow-off to this for me. I would have been so happy right at that moment.
I would have been completely content.
They could just finish the match and there. He spanks him out of the company.
Yeah, that would have let me properly compare this like the final deletion in terms of absurdity.
Yeah, that's true.
One moment. Actually no. Before I get this, just 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, so we can edit it out or whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, just because my biggest problem with this match, I mean, with this recorded bit, so the spot with the fridge.
Yeah.
So we see the overhead. I hate overhead spots and this sort of stuff, by the way, because the overhead camera was completely different from the others and kind of made the match look a bit different and weird.
Yep.
So the fridge falls on him, and then we can visibly see the fridge falling off of him.
Yep.
Like he wasn't trapped. Like when we saw like the main camera again, like yeah, the fridge was like on him or whatever, but like the top down, you can clearly see it's not on top of him. So
that segment was really weird to me because for just a second I thought they were trying to insinuate when this fridge fell over, he fell inside of the fridge. As if it was like a cartoon. And I was so confused until I finally figured out, he's under it.
Like
The whole thing was weird. And the fridge being the finish of the whole gimmick was just weird.
Yeah, why the fridge? Why couldn't he have just been trapped in?
It felt like something bigger needed to happen.
Yeah, I feel like what should have happened is he should have been like, they should have brawled like a bunch in the basement, and then Bray should have lit the whole place on fire.
Yeah,
like,
I thought the blow off was gonna be the house exploding.
Yeah, like Randy should have been trapped in the basement with the house on fire. That would have been like a whole, like you still know that he's going to escape and maybe win the match, but like
you know this man isn't actually going to die in real life, but
yeah.
Build something.
Like, in reality, a fridge kind of sort of fell on top of it, almost trapped him, and then Bray walked outside and he changed the color of the lights.
Yep. I also have one more major complaint about this match. Other than the other numerous ones I've mentioned to this point. Whoever edited this, they should be fired until they can't be fired anymore.
Oh my god.
Why did I need to watch 5 minutes of Bray Wyatt coughing?
I don't know. And that just reminded me of another complaint that I have about the shaking camera. I was actually getting dizzy watching it.
Well, that's just like, the WWE thing. There's not much you can do about it.
The thing is that this was the sort of scene where you should not have done that at all.
Yeah. Because
this isn't like in-ring action where they do it to kind of like enhance. You know, that's not the case. But like, in this case, it just disoriented me because it's like a completely different environment. You know, I guess their movements and stuff are a bit different than usual. Like, it was still like traditional, like all WWE beat 'em up stuff, but like. With the way that they were laid out and like moving around within the house, you can't do the shaky stuff there because it really kills it.
That's
really
a good point.
Kills it.
There's a point where you have to be serious with it, and the whole shaky cam thing. It also implies that there's a bunch of random ass cameramen there too, I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't add to like the eeriness of the scenario at all. It just completely kills it.
I mean, that's all. I can't really say anything else about this fucking segment. We then get to
gets away in a limousine, and then
steals Randy's limo, and the limo driver is just fine with it for whatever reason.
So, I'm gonna take a bit from Brian Zane here because his explanation of this was he had like a mini explanation as to how Randy got back, which I actually thought was like so cartoony and hilarious. So he proposed that as the limo was driving away, Randy had snuck up to it and like grabbed onto the bottom of the chassis and just rode along like some cartoon character.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, you know what? That's honestly the most plausible thing I can think of.
Pretty much.
The only way that Randy could have beaten Bray to the arena, other than learning teleportation from it, or maybe a trebuchet.
I could not tell you.
WWE. I mean, if teleportation is a thing and Bray Wyatt riding away in a limo is a thing, use a trebuchet or a rocket or.
That still begs the question of like, what's the whole? Where is this place? I don't know. There's too many gimmicks. Not enough time.
Right, so now the nothingness that was the actual match.
Okay. Real quick before we get too far into this, I missed the first part of this. Bray made his entrance. I took a piss. Then when I came back, Randy was winning, dominantly. What the fuck did I miss?
So what happened was that Bray had entered the ring. I guess he grabbed his lantern from somewhere. He comes on down, and he's celebrating and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then Randy just kind of pops up behind him, like he just kind of like enters the ring, pops up behind him. Bray turns around, and then Randy starts kicking the crap out of him. He grabs. It's like that's all that really happened. He just kind of like grabbed a chair and just. It was whatever, really. Like, nothing really happened.
So, basically, I got the whole extent of it. Just randomly, Randy started winning.
Yeah.
And then, Jinder.
Jinder was the best part of the match.
That's not saying much.
It's not, but it's a fact. Jinder was the best part of that match.
I would argue that the ref was the best part of the match and that he wasn't directly involved in it. He can go the rest of his life knowing his name will not be directly attached to this.
Yeah, I could probably agree with that. His name will not be remembered unless you go look it up somewhere.
Unless you Google it, yeah.
I don't feel like I don't want anyone to do that.
I mean, nothing happened. Fucking Bray won. Jinder killed him and took the belt back again. The Singh brothers are tiny human beings.
They are very small.
They're little men. And they're twins, right?
I think so, yeah.
Why is one of them significantly more attractive and less goofy looking? And I don't mean the little. I mean, like, one of them looks like an Indian cartoon character. And the other looks like Andrade.
Yeah, he kind of does, doesn't he?
It's so bizarre to me that these two human beings can be that closely related and look so vastly different. Alright, so yeah, this match was a waste of everyone's life. I'm sorry if you watched it. I'm sorry you had to listen to us talk about it again.
Yeah, alright.
Okay, moving on.
Let's move on to the next match.
Joe versus Rollins. What'd you think? Because I didn't care.
I didn't much care for it either. I thought it was like typical late 2000, early 2010s TNA Joe, where he was just kind of doing his stuff, like getting some stuff in, not really impressing me by any means. It was like there was some cool action to it, but it's just really slow and bland and didn't captivate me at all.
I've said this before in the room. I've said this several places. If I never in my life see Seth Rollins sell his knee ever again, I'll be the happiest man in the world. I don't need it.
I totally agree with you on that.
I'm so tired of it. I get it. Dude's got a fucking knee injury. Stop. It's over. It's gone. The heat's over for it.
Like in storyline, like in kayfabe, it makes sense because he's never given time to properly heal, and he's been wrestling on a bum knee basically.
Yeah, but when does it start taking away from matches too much? Like, he wrestled Monday, and it was great because he didn't sell the fucking knee. At least not significantly. There were portions where he sold it, but I mean, then he'd do his fucking superplex to Falcon Arrow, no problem.
I love that move.
Why isn't that his finish?
Because no one can ever properly do the deal. No one can ever do it. Except Klondongo.
I still can't believe they're fucking
Klondongo did the fucking deal.
He did the deal. He got the Falcon Arrow more over than Seth Rollins can. Let that sink in for a moment.
I popped really, really hard when they won that. Mostly because he won with the Falcon Arrow.
I'll put it out there, I'm less opposed to that than I am to Jinder. That's about all I got for it.
Just going on a quick tangent, I am a big fan of the Falcon Arrow, and I wins matches. It's one of my favorite moves ever.
It's a good move.
When I see somebody, yeah, it's a great move. So when I see somebody actually winning with a Falcon Arrow, I knew they were going to win based on how the booking was looking. Like,
yeah, like
you gave like American Alpha like 5 minutes to win that match, and then like the Ascension are boring. Rizongo actually has potential to really come out and be really cool. So yeah, they're probably going to win it in some sort of crazy upset or surprise. But winning in like 2.5 minutes with a Falcon Arrow, I was like, yes! Like, I think even like in the chat somewhere, like in the Discord chat, I flipped out. I was so happy. But yeah, just the match didn't do anything for me.
it was a match. Like I could have.
It was a match.
I didn't need to see it. I'll point out there was a point in this match where Samoa Joe put on the worst knee bar ever.
He did. He really did, didn't he?
It was horrible.
I was not at all impressed with that. It looked like he barely had a hold on him.
I could do a knee bar better, and I don't even understand the physics of it.
Yeah,
It was horrible.
I don't think I've ever been in a knee bar, so I don't know, but
it was.
Yeah.
The match was nothing really.
It was just kind of there, like some cool spots, which probably helped it be above whatever, but
yeah. It was just a match.
So the main event, we've seen this match a couple times before. We're going to see it at least once more,
Probably.
maybe twice, given the way the booking's going. So, this was my second favorite match of the night.
Okay.
I liked it more than the women's match, but it was just a little bit under the tag team match for me.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why was that I felt like they just did not go as all out as they normally do. I don't remember which match of theirs was my favorite, but
I would have to say the Fastlane match, bar fucking none.
was it their Fastlane? I don't think I was a big fan of their Fastlane match, though.
I didn't like the finish of it because it was just kind of Roman winning, but the whole match itself was quite good.
Yeah.
Strowman murdered him real well. I'll say in this match that Roman selling the shoulder was probably the best part of it. He kind of fucked it up at one point because he did a spear and he tried to do the wrong shoulder. He tried to correct it midair, but he kind of fucked it up, and you could tell he didn't mean to because he went head on with the spear. But he did a really good job of selling the shoulder. Like, he would even do the whole fucking howl taunt with one arm, which is just a nice little touch. Alright, we're back after a short intermission. Now, back to Strowman versus Reigns. What did you think?
I actually like the match more than their Fastlane.
Really?
Yeah. I don't remember what my feelings were of the Fastlane match at the time. I think I felt like it was just too much Reigns BS. But with this match, I felt that there were some things that they did better. They honestly just told a better story in this match. I think that was the big selling point for me. Reigns being injured, obviously not at 100%, meaning, okay, he's got to do this a bit differently, and he did do it a bit differently. I really respect his selling in the match.
Yeah, I love the selling in this match.
He's like, I know people are still on like the, I hate Roman Reigns train, but like, I don't know, I kind of hopped off that train a while back ago because somebody else too. But after seeing some of his matches, like, I think it was, I'm trying to remember what the turning point was for me, because I know like D-Bry definitely carried him in their match. I liked the match, I really liked it, but D-Bry totally carried it. I think for me the turning point for Reigns was his his match at Extreme Rules with AJ.
Yeah,
I think that
exactly
that was definitely the turning point where I was like, yo, AJ made him look like $1 million, but Reigns held his own.
Oh yeah.
And we're starting to see a lot more of Reigns holding his own, and it's not just Superman punch, spear anymore. Like, yeah, it was like that in the Undertaker match, but there was a reason.
What could he do?
Yeah, you can't do too much with Taker.
Taker's a husk at this point.
I feel like Reigns still has some strength issues, I find, which is weird because he looks like he'd be someone who could like lift the earth if he wanted to, but like.
Yeah, I've had this conversation with Space. He's a strong dude. He's a big dude, But when it comes to like functionally throwing guys around, unless they're a lot smaller than him, he usually struggles a little bit.
Yeah, like I remember Mania match when he tried to pick up Taker. I don't know, it's because it was gassed or something, but like
Well, that
he,
was just a comedy of fucking errors when he tried to deadlift him over his head when Taker couldn't bend back. Yeah, that was a mess. I don't know what they were
that
thinking
was
on that. That was Taker trying to do something he couldn't, and that was Reigns trying to account for it, but he couldn't.
yeah. But I think with me personally, I'm just a sucker for a good story.
Yeah,
So if I feel like there's a good story told in the match, and the in-ring work is passable, then I'll usually and I still give this match a thumbs up,
Oh
just
yeah.
because of the fact that Reigns had to, he had to play the hero in peril sort of thing. Like,
Yep.
he's supposed to save the day, but he's not at 100%,
He
so he's got
didn't.
to.
There was no point in this where I was like, "Oh, Roman's making his comeback." It was always like, "Oh, he had a move," but then Strowman hit him with a harder
Yeah,
move.
he pretty much he like you could tell from the start of it, it's like Roman's not winning this, but he has to do what he can
Yeah,
to
he
fend
has to
off the
get
big
over
baddie as
still.
long as possible.
Yeah,
Yeah, like he had to do what he could to make it last as long as possible. And that's like essentially what he did. Braun won clean. Like
oh, yeah, it was
he hammered
clean as a
him
whistle.
down, he got 2 power slams, and that was it. Well, it wasn't it because there was all the stuff after the match.
Well, he murdered him dead, and we'll get to that in a second. But
Absolutely murdered him. But yeah, the match overall solid.
yeah, it was
I know a lot of people were saying it wasn't as good, but I thought it did what it was supposed to do.
I thought it was a thumbs up match. Like I said, I like the Fastlane match more just because it featured. I felt like more happened faster. I guess you're
Yeah.
right with the whole psychology part of it, and they had to make it last for as long as they could. So I guess yeah, that makes sense. It was still a very good match.
Like, yeah, I think the Fastlane match, some of the actual like action and fighting, probably a bit better.
Yeah,
But the story being told in that match, I felt was just not good, and I did not enjoy it.
I'd agree with that.
But yeah,
So then after the match, the death of Roman Reigns.
yeah, the death of Roman Reigns. Yeah, he just
I mean, got killed dead.
massacred him. Yeah, he killed him dead. People
I
die when they're killed.
I I still will not understand the physics of the steps. They're sometimes either useless or murder weapons. In this case, they were murder weapons. Um,
Yeah.
Dropped them on his sternum. He began coughing up blood. Then Roman crawled his way to the back, and that was the end of the show.
Yeah. And
I
then after the show, there was a little bit more.
Fucking Braun murdering the ambulance door. Yeah, that
I'm
was
not finished
classic.
with you. Yeah, that's gotta be his catchphrase. Like
It
just
basically is.
like it'll just be like after the match, and then there'll be some like post match thing. Like there'll be some segment, and then you just hear, "I'm not finished with you." Camera pans around, like pans over, and there's just Braun just destroying the person he gets out of match with. And I guess and honestly, like if that was probably a gimmick door on the ambulance, but
Yeah,
if that
probably.
wasn't like a gimmick door, holy
Well,
God.
how solid are ambulance doors? I've been in an ambulance within fucking forever. I
I've
didn't
never
check
been
the
in a,
rigid,
I've,
rigid, that's a hard word.
rigidness. I don't know.
Rig, rig,
I know you're trying to say rigidity.
yeah,
I think.
it's
I don't
not
know.
coming out.
Is
So
rigidity a word? I don't think
I
I've
hope
ever.
so, because if not, I just really made a fool of myself.
All right, I'm
Google
gonna
that.
search this up. Yeah, rigidity is a word. You're good.
It is okay. I'm good. I'm good.
But
Glad
yeah,
we both stopped everything to Google fucking
that's still,
rigidity.
regardless. I thought you were trying to say virginity for a second. I'm like, well, Braun did take that ambulance towards virginity. I can tell you that.
Fucking
Because he fucked it hard.
God. So,
Yeah, he fucked it.
all right. So what was your in general rating for the show? Like thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
I would have to say overall, looking at all the matches, besides House of Horrors, there was nothing that was strictly bad.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was decent. My big gripe with this pay-per-view was that nothing was really great. Every single match had something that held it back in some way. Like, Owens Jericho was a bit too slow paced. Neville Aries was it was okay, but they weren't doing anything over the finish. Kind of messed it up.
Mhm.
With the tag match, there was a bit of sloppiness from Sheamus and not as intense as it could have been. Bailey, Alexa Bliss. Well, Alexa did what she can as a wrestler, I guess. Um, House of Horrors, that didn't happen. Rollins Joe was just really slow paced and not very intriguing at all. And then Strowman Reigns, I feel like it was a lot of the same of what we've been seeing. And while the story was, the story and psychology were good, the action was just not all there simply because of the story they were telling. It was still there to a decent extent, but it wasn't as crazy as it could have been. Like, I know that given the right scenario, these two at, kayfabe 100% health, they could honestly, I think, put on an amazing match and just have something absolutely ruthless. Like, give them time, because they've had time before, but give them a bit more purpose as well.
Yep.
Like, have some more like spots set up and stuff like that, like some real craziness, not just all this stalling and whatnot.
I think that's what the Extreme Rules match will be, assuming that's the match for Extreme Rules. That is the next pay-per-view, right? We're not jumping straight into Great Balls of Fire, are we?
I don't know what's next.
I think it's Extreme Rules, then Great Balls. God, that's such an awful name. Anyways.
So bad, it's good. But I believe their next match is an ambulance match.
Yeah, that'd be the most sensible. They've had so many ambulances.
No, I think they've already confirmed it.
Really?
I believe they've already confirmed that it's going to be an ambulance match. Yeah.
Okay. So before we move on, you said that to me about this whole show being kind of thumbs in the middle the other day, with everything kind of having something to hold it back. You have to remember at the same time, though, it's a B pay-per-view. You don't want to necessarily blow all your big stuff.
But here's the thing. Payback has traditionally been a B pay-per-view. But with that in mind, there have been better paybacks. There have been paybacks. I remember the first Payback. I had no expectations going into it, and I watched it, and I was like, that was really good. Like, it was not supposed to be good at all, but it was solid. It was like an enjoyable show. And this just felt like a Raw. That was the day before Raw.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, I felt like if you had done all of this stuff on Raw, it would have been a good Raw. It would have been a really good Raw.
Right.
But instead, we got a pay-per-view that was just kind of in the middle, because the thing is, obviously, with pay-per-views, you have to, because there's no story development. This is it. Like, this is where you got to do the big stuff. I wasn't really seeing a lot of the big stuff.
Right.
And if I had seen at least like one sort of like 4-star quality match, that probably would have lifted my overall opinion of the pay-per-view. But overall, I just kind of have a thumbs in the middle. Like, it wasn't bad. Because, again, other than House of Horrors, nothing really, but just nothing really pushed it to the next level.
I would agree with that. I would go as far personally as to say that without House of Horrors, I would say this is almost a good show. But like you said, there was stuff holding it back. But House of Horrors just... that, I don't know who greenlit that, I don't know who wrote that, I don't know who directed that. All of them fired.
Yeah, they need to be replaced.
It was not good. It was so bad.
That was bad.
There are people who are defending it as well. Like, I know, fucking Balor, I don't know how to pronounce his shitty name.
Balor?
Of all people, was defending this, I guess, as a joke, kind of. Like, he wasn't taking it seriously, but he was defending this as okay, and I was like, why?
Well, okay, I understand that perspective. Like, with the final deletion, like, a lot of, like, there were some decent wrestling in Final Deletion, but a lot of the reason why it was good was because it was just overall, like, larger than life sort of entertaining.
Yeah.
This match didn't really have any of that. Like, I didn't even find it that funny. There were a couple parts where I laughed because it was like, this is really cheesy, stupid stuff. Like, I think even some little kids would be questioning this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't hit any of the spots that it should have hit. Like, it wasn't like the in-ring or out-of-ring, whatever quality, was complete garbage. There was nothing there to work with.
Yeah, there was nothing redeeming about this match.
Story-wise, there was nothing properly being told here. Jinder's sort of looking a bit better. In terms of comedy value, I didn't even find any of it funny. It was just very dull, just kind of there.
It just wasn't good. bad,
It's not
bad,
even a good.
bad,
It wasn't even a
bad.
good sleeping aid because there were random jump scares.
This would have been bad if it was on TV.
Yeah.
There was nothing
it
good
doesn't
about
really-
this. You couldn't have put this in a context where it was good.
There's no context where this match was good.
And this was the blow
So-
off too, but it was still a wacky finish.
Honestly, like this feud upsets me because early on you could tell there was some potential going into it. Like we all knew this just because of the way it was building, but like we should have been treated to something so much better, considering how long they'd been building like these matches.
Yeah, this
But then,
feud
you know,
up until WrestleMania, this feud was like the best thing going on either show,
Because
arguably.
it was intriguing, and Bray was looking stronger and stronger and stronger every week.
And they took a
and then he
really
actually
long-term
won the
approach
title.
with it too.
Yeah, and then that was weird. And then he won the title at Elimination Chamber, and we're like, holy shit, they're actually getting behind him. Maybe he might, retain at Mania or whatever.
Right.
And then they dropped the title to Orton, and that kind of killed it. That was like killed it. The match was awful.
Yeah.
The feud was like kind of ruined at that point. It was like, oh man,
The
that's
wacky fucking
And then it's-
mat gimmick, it was not good.
the power, fucking projector bullshit. Like, and then and then this House of Horrors match gets announced, and then I'm just like, I was worried from the start because I remembered the Asylum match, and I'm just like, man, this is going to be like some really gimmicky, awful crap, isn't it? And
Yeah.
it really was.
It-
So if I were to slap like a letter grade on Payback, I'd probably give it somewhere in the C plus to B minus range.
Yeah.
Probably like a B minus, simply because there's one really bad match that unfortunately got split into two matches in a way. But like,
Yeah,
there was still-
let me complain about that for a minute. That's probably the worst part of this. They made me live this match twice.
yeah,
They made me sit through it 2 times.
like we couldn't even get it out of our minds because we pop up later in the show.
Yep.
So like the whole time that I'm watching Rollins Joe, I'm just thinking, oh, it's awful.
I'll point out though, if they had interrupted Rollins Joe and just made it wacky as well, I would have been so okay with it.
I totally would have as well. I think that's actually, isn't that what Ambrose did? Didn't
Is
they
it what?
interrupt a match or something? Do you remember that match that Ambrose and Harper had? I think it was, I don't remember if it was specifically Falls Count Anywhere or like No Part or something, but like Ambrose and Harper had like this crazy like street fight match where they went all crazy, like going all through the backstage and everything, and then at one point they both hop into a vehicle, start beating the crap out of each other in the vehicle, and it drives off.
I do
And
not
then
remember
they're just
this.
gone for like, okay, so this totally happened, and it was hilarious. It was awesome. I think the match overall kind of got killed by that, but like
Yeah.
basically, like if like a few minutes into the action, like maybe something like 10, 15 minutes, I don't remember how long, they get into a vehicle and it drives off, and then they're just gone for like forever. Like they end up being gone for what I think ended up being like half an hour, maybe 40 minutes or something like that.
Oh
I
my
don't remember
god.
how long. Yeah, and they just kind of pop up randomly. Like I almost forgot they were fighting. Like I thought, okay, they're just gone now. And then the show continued, and then they just pop up later on in the show and continue the match as if nothing happened.
Weird.
It was funny as hell, and it almost felt like that with this match, except colossally worse.
Yeah,
So-
pretty much. So with the
Yeah.
whole letter grade thing, I'd say B minus is about right. I would give the House of Horrors match an F minus.
Yeah, F minus, like not even trying to like,
Minus
exaggerate.
5 stars.
No, I wouldn't
Every
go minus,
bad praise in the world for this match.
I would not go -5 with it. I've seen
Really?
a lot worse. Yeah, I've seen trust me. Like when you think of some of the matches that are -5 stars,
You have to think
this
of
is
it-
definitely better.
Think of it in the context of it, though. This is the main... Well, not the main event. This is the World Champions feud.
I'll give it -2.5.
Really?
Yeah, because giving it 0 is still stating
nice.
that it's offensive in some way. Giving it a minus rank implies that it's really, really, really offensive.
Yeah.
But it was like, it wasn't like
In the sense that these two men fought and did not, like, kill each other or miss every single hit, it was not a minus 5-star match. That's it.
It wasn't Hogan Warrior offensive.
I would rather watch the Survivor Girl match than watch this match again.
Oh god.
Because at least I can derive comedy out of that. This just hurt me.
Yeah, it did hurt to watch. Like, that's why I would genuinely give it like a minus. Oh, god. It's not as bad as that Shelly Martinez match, though. Come on.
But, I mean, I can still have fun with that, though. I can make fun of her shitty tope. There's nothing redeeming about this.
Honestly, we can look back on this in like a couple years.
Listen, maybe in a year, I can look back and go, oh, this is brilliantly funny. But right now, I'm just mad.
Yeah. All right. So that was Payback.
Yep. What'd you think of this Raw show?
I thought Raw was good.
Yep.
I liked it. I thought that it was personally, I thought it was the best Raw. Because we've had now it's not like super amazing, obviously, but like as you know, Raw being super amazing, that doesn't happen. But it was really enjoyable. We had a great opener with the women. The main event was like fantastic. I don't think we won't have to go on a match by match.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go through this thing by thing here, but I want to say something about the women's segment. Everyone's defending Alicia Fox. Why?
She's just kind of there for me.
She's not good. People keep defending her like, oh, why are they using her for the shitty Noam Dar feud? She's got so much potential. Where? She's been with this company for 15 years.
My opinion of Alicia Fox is similar to, I think, a lot of people that I talk to about her, is that she's probably got the best Northern Light suplex I've seen at any wrestler ever.
I'll give her that.
Like, she's on her toes when she does it. Like, her form.
Her bridge is like Golden Gate.
Yeah, like, it's incredible. Like, every time I see you do that, I'm like, man, why can't you do every other move and tell a story like that?
Why can't you do any other move like that? Because you have no other moves.
If she could do the rest of her moveset the way she does that suplex, and if she could portray a character in that sense as well, like, you know, like a clean and crisp and just overall well presentation, she'd be amazing. But she doesn't. She just does that one move really, really well. Yeah. It's like how Brock Lesnar. She's essentially like Brock Lesnar in a way.
Okay,
like,
stop. You are not comparing Alicia Fox to Brock Lesnar.
I totally am, and people are gonna shit on me for this. And now I'm not talking Brock Lesnar like, overall.
I need to lie down.
I'm talking Brock Lesnar that gets in the ring and literally just does one move over and over and over and over again.
I see what you're saying, but he at least has a benefit. He knows what he's good at, and he keeps doing it. She just does it once and then does other shitty gimmicks the rest of the match.
If she were to start doing the normal 15 times in the match,
I'd be down. Fucking Suplex City. Alicia Fox.
Yeah.
I want to point out, they worked this match really weirdly as well. Like, they had Sasha getting the heat on Alicia, and then there was a point in the match where I think I heard the crowd like trying to get like a hot tag going for Alicia, which is the heel.
Yeah, I don't get that.
That part was weird.
Just wanted to see the suplex.
But otherwise, the match was inoffensive. Yeah. Jackson dropping one on the neck.
It was a perfectly fine match. It was a good way to help wrap up the segment, and also it was really nice that they got time. They got a lot of time.
They did get a lot of time. Like, they got the whole first hour of Raw between the segment and the match.
I don't think it was the first hour. I think it was like
half hour.
Because it was a decent amount of the hour. Because like the match itself, I think was around like 13, 14 minutes.
Yeah.
I think it got 13:05 here as a time amount, but like they got a decent length match. They got some good promo time. Like it was great. I'm glad that they got that time.
Yeah, and the promo was actually pretty good.
What else?
Yeah.
What else?
The Enzo Gallows match.
Besides the main event.
The Enzo Gallows match was nothing. There's nothing worth talking about with it, really. The Rollins, Dean, Miz, Finn promo.
It was good. It did what it needed to do. It made the IC title look good for a bit.
Yeah.
Not really too much to say about that. It's set up to the in a bit.
It's kind of annoying to
Cruiserweight-
me. It's kind of annoying to me that this is just the IC title setup now and not the Universal title setup. But what you gonna do? Like, it's Brock. What you gonna do? Are you gonna tell him no? No, because he makes you more money than anyone else on the roster.
We need to build up to Brock too. That's kind of the thing.
If you told me right now Seth was main eventing a pay per view with Brock, I'd believe it.
I could see it just because of the fact that he's got that win over.
With the Triple H one, yeah.
And combined with the Samoa Joe win, I could see them putting him in that position.
I'm not saying a win.
He's realistically, well, no, not the win. No, I don't know what I'm saying there. No, he would win. Brock needs to hold that title. As awful as it is to say that, having a part-timer hold the title,
Well,
he kind of needs to.
He's the best thing for it right now, whether or not he's the best thing for the company.
If he wrestles like a few more matches than expected, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rollins is definitely the best. He'd be the best contender to go for it, other than maybe like Braun. I'd love to see Braun versus Lesnar. Oh my god.
Yeah, that would be good. I think that's what they're building for at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I'd be down to see that. Do
What
I
else
want
happened?
Reigns Lesnar at WrestleMania 34?
I really do want that.
I do. I was gonna say I do actually want that match to happen because I think give Reigns a bit more time, and I think he will have developed into a really good performer by then.
I also want to point out Reigns versus Lesnar at Mania fucking 31. Yeah, at Mania 31, that match was good, and even before the Rollins showed up.
Like, it wasn't great, but it was good. It did what it needed to do. I was enjoying it, even though it was mostly just Lesnar Reigns. I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it was very good. Roman got his ass kicked. I cannot complain about that match. So I would like to see it again at some point with no interruption.
Overall, with what they're doing though with the IC title, I like it because they need that title to look important. Because if you're not going to have the Universal title defended regularly, or at least have your champion appear regularly, you need something to be done with a single title. And well, the IC title is the only other male championship that these guys can go for, so it's got to be that realistically.
That's pretty much the only reason they brought Dean over, so that he could carry the show while Brock was away, and they know he can do that. That's why I'm kind of surprised that Bray's moving into this feud with Finn. I thought he would be Dean's first feud, not fucking shitty Miz. Okay, not shitty Miz. Miz is good.
I was gonna say shitty Miz. Like Miz is shitty in this.
Miz is shitty when he's feuding with Dean Ambrose. I do not need this fucking feud again. I don't know why they're putting it on TV again.
I didn't hate the feud. Wasn't a huge fan of it, but I felt that I more so was critical of Ambrose in that feud than the Miz.
I had my issues with both guys, I guess. I don't like the comedy direction they're pushing Ambrose in recently either.
No, I'm not a fan of that either.
They're kind of overdoing it.
Some of it I admittedly kind of enjoy.
Yeah.
But sometimes they take it too far, and I'm just like, come on, man, you're a champion.
Like the whole eat a carb thing was really good, but I mean, a lot of it's just kind of wacky.
Actually, I will say this: his comedy work tonight was good.
Yes.
I liked tonight. Yeah, Raw. Whatever. The whole like calling up Kurt Angle in the middle thing. I got a chuckle at.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny. Interviewing every like individual competitor in the match, that made me laugh too. I was like, okay, this is actually like kind of funny. But like the trouble with Ambrose comedy is like there's so many ways that you can do it right, and there's so many ways that you can just fuck it up too. Because
I can see that.
And it's really tough to really pinpoint exactly how they should do it, because it's so easy for them to just jump across that line, like just like crisscross that line of being funny and just being annoying and stupid. They have to know exactly how to do it. Like when I think of some like Ambrose comedy that's funny, other than tonight, I feel like we had a string of just awfulness.
Yeah, a lot of what he does is not necessarily funny. It's very hit or miss. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But I'm glad that the IC title is getting, because quite frankly, if the Miz isn't holding the title, it just seems like a shitty title.
Fair enough. What do you think of this Apollo Crews angle?
I'm not sold on it yet, but I'm willing to see where it goes with it.
Okay.
It's got a lot of potential, because two good things are coming out of this. One, Apollo can potentially have a voice, someone to talk for him, and it keeps Titus out of the ring.
Fair enough.
I don't want to see Titus wrestle. I love the fact that he's not actively wrestling right now, and that he's filling a more ambassador sort of comedy role.
Yeah,
that's good. His mic work is weird, because I feel like sometimes he's gold. I don't know if you were watching during this, but there was a, I think it was Raw, it might have been a SmackDown. But there was an episode of WWE TV where Titus was on commentary. I believe it was during a Darren Young match. Might have been
okay.
might have been something else. But he was great on commentary, and one of the reasons why is because he was doing the commentary thing decently well. But then JBL made some sort of weird joke, and Titus just tore into it.
Oh god.
Like he tore into him to the point where I actually almost couldn't focus on the match, because it was like, man, Titus, you're ripping into JBL so hard.
Like cutting a promo on him.
Yeah, he cut a hard promo on him, and I'll get you the link after we're done the podcast here. But it was man, he ripped into him. Oh god. But so after hearing that, I'm thinking, man, this guy could be a good manager for somebody. He could really sell somebody. And I feel that if he's motivated and he's really into this whole Titus brand thing, I think he could make Apollo look and sound really, really good. So I'm willing to wait and see where this goes.
Fair enough. I don't know how to feel about Titus O'Neil, because he can be a good promo, but then he can really not be. Mm-hmm. Like, remember the infamous SummerSlam promo? Or post SummerSlam promo? Oh boy. It was...
Also, he kissed his son on the lips.
I don't want to talk about that. That was just weird.
That's gonna get brought up,
He was the father of the year. You can tell him it's weird. No, he's better dad than you.
Yeah, I mean... I'll just remember that for when I raise my kids. Just give my
kiss him on the mouth.
That'll make me dad. Kiss my kid on the mouth. I'm dad of the year.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, so let's talk about this main event, because the rest of it, there's some cruiserweight stuff.
The rest of it's nonsense. I will say real quick, a quick note. I did really like this Bray promo.
It was interesting because it left a door open.
Yeah.
He didn't really say much of anything, but that's kind of how Bray is. He says a lot of cool stuff, but he isn't actually saying anything. So on one hand, you're like, well, okay, Bray just came out like a weirdo and left. But on the other hand, you can leave it as very open to interpretation. You don't know what he means. So it's is he gonna do something in angle? Is he going to pop up in the middle of a match and mess somebody up?
Right.
We'll see. So. This main event.
Very good.
This main event. Very, very good match.
Somehow better than an entire pay-per-view the night before.
Yeah, it was easily better than anything on Payback. Absolutely. 4-star standard. I was really into it. My major gripe with the match was that the early stuff, I get it was supposed to be a bit funny. Supposed to kind of add to the story a little bit, and it did help set up. But I felt like they took a little too long in this sort of scenario, trying to dance around the Miz. All right, let's take ages and ages to finally punch the Miz in the face, sort of thing.
My whole issue with that part, it just all three of them are in the ring. The Miz slides out and is like, "Hey, yeah, you two idiots fight." Then the two idiots fight. You make your babyface look like idiots.
Yeah.
They can see. They can literally just walk outside the ring and grab the Miz and prevent his master plan. But instead,
Which
they're just.
they did, but
Oh, it took
they
like 10
eventually got.
minutes.
Yeah.
They look like
It was,
fucking geeks.
and that's for me. That's part of what kind of held it back
Yeah.
was that all that shenanigans at the beginning. Like if they had cut that out or had had condensed it to like say just a minute of that, I would have rated this match much higher.
Okay.
Because honestly, that was really the only thing holding it back. Because you look at all the action that's happening, like there was some really, really nice spots,
Oh,
and
yeah.
especially like the blitz near the end, like oh
It
man,
was a great fucking match.
so good. Easily the match of the night.
Yep.
Easily the match of the week so far, and
Probably, yeah.
easily the best I would say it's probably the best non-pay-per-view of the year for WWE so far.
Maybe with the exception of the fuck Corbin, AJ, Ziggler.
I'd probably put it on par with that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I'd say those matches are very, very close. I think I probably had them on par. Maybe I had this one a little bit higher.
Fair enough.
I'd have to go back and rewatch the SmackDown one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I can't think of anything other. Even honestly, even if we're looking at pay-per-view matches,
Mhm.
they're having and not looking at NXT at all, just looking at main roster stuff.
Yeah.
I can't think of too many matches that were better than this so far.
Yeah, I'd agree with
And
that.
like there was obviously Styles Cena was really good.
Mhm.
What other really good matches did the company put out this year? Not counting NXT.
I mean,
Like
you
I have to
remember
go
Roll
back and
Point?
look at my ratings. Like did I rate anything really high? Like Payback? No.
The chamber match was good.
The chamber. There's the chamber match. Anything from
AJ,
itself?
Cena.
I had the tag match from WrestleMania at a solid 4.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Anything from Fastlane? Nope.
What about AJ Shane?
I think I had that around 3.5, didn't I?
Yeah. Okay.
Did I? No, I had 3 3/4. So I had it just a little bit from this match.
Okay.
What else? Elimination Chamber. Orton Harper was a step down. The chamber match itself was pretty solid. AJ Cena was pretty good. A lot of people were saying that's I didn't get that vibe from it personally,
Okay.
but I still loved it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, this was definitely one of the best WWE matches of the year.
I can see that.
I think I have it in my top 5 overall. So,
Fair enough.
not counting NXT because for counting NXT, then
That's a whole other ballgame. Okay, so
Yeah.
now on to SmackDown, I guess then. What did you think of this show?
Yeah. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
I liked. What did I like from it? I liked the main event, kind
Yeah.
of. I liked what the women are doing. Women on both shows are. I really like what's going on with the women on both shows.
I
They're
hate
doing-
this angle on SmackDown, personally. I do
Really?
not like this whole welcoming committee thing. Because, first off, I can already see that they're going to fucking push this group named the Welcoming Committee. That's seriously going to be a group's name. And
that's not a good.
that is not going to be good. Nobody's going to buy t-shirts with the Welcoming Committee on it. For Natty
The Welcoming
Neidhart,
Committee.
Carmella, and Tamina. Nobody's going to buy that shirt.
The Welcoming Committee to me sounds like a jobber group.
It is. Nobody in the group has any legitimacy, and everyone on the opposing
That's-
group has a ton of legitimacy.
That is very true. I think the reason why I like where the women are going, like the SmackDown women, I think it's because I'm hyped for the idea of a well-built 6-person tag match.
Right.
Because I don't like throwaway tag matches too much. If they've got some high energy and the match goes well, but I really dislike multi-person tag matches on a pay-per-view that have no proper build to them. If
Right.
there's like a really, really solid build to it, I'm all for it. Because, we've seen Shield Wyatts. That's a
Yep.
classic. That's a classic feud right there.
Very good feud.
Because that had a lot of great build to it. Like Shield multi-man tag matches in general, honestly. Ryback Hell No versus the Shield.
Yep. Very good.
That is a classic. God, that match is so good. But I feel like this could be good. It's not going to be great, just because of the fact that it's got Natalya and Tamina
Yeah.
and Carmella. It's not going to be great. It can be
If
good.
it was a better cast of characters, I might be able to get involved in it, but I just cannot possibly care about these
I don't have a
women.
reason to care about half of them.
Yep.
Why should I care about Tamina?
You
She's
shouldn't.
39 years old.
She's
39 years old.
Find me the last televised win Tamina got.
I can think of one in my head, and it was during. I think it was. I'm not going to remember the exact match, but I believe she got a win while she was either paired with or feuding with AJ Lee.
AJ Lee. That woman's been at the company for how long?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through with this right now. I'm gonna find her last win. Okay. Well, I do.
Tamina's or AJ's? Yeah, find Tamina's.
I'm on Tamina's cage match right now. I'm gonna see if I can find a single fucking win this woman got. Okay, well, I'm not counting house shows.
Last televised win.
Can I put in
Because I can't think of it
singles
off the top of my head.
match as a filter? Fuck it. She hasn't won in a very long time. Is my point.
All right, I'm gonna
She
do some
lost
digging too
clean
while we keep
to
talking.
Brie Bella at house shows.
She did.
It's not good.
She has, and she
Okay.
herself is just not.
She is not good.
Good.
Her super kick sucks. Not good.
She's just kind of bland.
Yeah. Okay. The opening promo was really nothing.
Her last win, Tamina's last win, like in singles, not counting. Let's see, her last singles win was February 8th, 2016, when she beat Becky.
Was this on TV or was this a house show?
This was on TV. This was on Raw.
Really?
Yeah. She won in a tag match with Naomi on an episode of Main Event. She won on Raw a few times with her.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because Team Bad happened, sadly.
Yeah. Her last televised win was March 22nd, 2016, on a Main Event taping with Naomi.
Good.
Cage.
That's a little absurd. It is now May of 2017. Okay, not a lot really happened on the show now that I'm looking at it.
No, we'll compare the shows in a bit, but overall, it was okay.
Yeah.
It was serviceable.
What'd you think of the Fashion Files?
Best thing on the show.
Yep. Okay, good answer. Well, the main event was the best thing on the show. That was a good match.
Yeah, okay. But if we're talking like Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens is amazing.
Yeah, fair enough.
This was like so good. This was so funny.
It was very good.
And it got me hyped.
Yeah.
It got me interested in seeing what they can do. And we have seen what they can do in the past. They've got some moves.
Very true.
We all know that, like, Fandango, he's not necessarily the best wrestler by any means, but, like, you put him in a good spot and he'll do some cool things.
Yep.
Tyler Breeze is a great and incredibly underutilized wrestler.
Very true.
Like, we know he can have some great matches. He just, needs to be booked well.
Yeah.
And they could book them well here. I don't know if they'll win. I don't see them winning.
They won't win. If they win it, I would be fucking shocked.
I'll be happy, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
I'll be happy, but I just doubt it. Because the Usos need to have a long title reign for the sake of this belt getting some fucking legitimacy.
Mm-hmm.
And hell, maybe even end it with DIY taking it off.
That would be cool.
Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. I will
So,
say Fandango calling Chicago the old windy apple was probably one of the best parts of the show for me.
oh man, my brain was like trying. Okay, yeah, I'm down for that.
The old windy
I
apple.
am down for calling it the Windy Apple.
Alright, so what do you think of this main event?
It was uh, it was very familiar to some of their other matches,
Mhm.
not in a bad way. Um, it was solid work. Uh, I almost want to say it was getting into typical Owens Jericho territory, where it like it kind of felt similar to their. It felt like a weird mix of their Payback and Mania matches, kind of.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, like it didn't feel standout to me, but it
No.
was still really good.
Yeah,
It was still an enjoyable match, but I felt like it was just like it's nothing we haven't seen before, really.
yeah, it was very familiar, but it was still very good. I I
Yeah,
did like Owen's murder of Jericho after, which I guess makes a little bit
yeah,
makes
that was
sense now. I,
yeah,
I
because it's a way to get him off TV.
I wonder why they wanted him on SmackDown though.
I get that. Like they could have just had Owens retain and
Yeah,
Jericho, but like I guess it was a way to get Jericho on the roster.
yeah,
But
but
I feel like they could have arranged that a bit differently. They could have just included him in the shakeup.
I guess, but yeah, I mean, why not just have Owens retain and then murder him at the pay-per-view? That feels like it makes much more sense to
Well,
me.
well, because the whole thing was that the winner, like if Jericho won, he would be sent to SmackDown.
Yeah, but why
Remember?
do they need him
So
on SmackDown anyways? He's going on tour with his shitty band.
hey, now Fozzie's not bad.
Yeah. My friend
Sammy
actually has an
Guevara
autograph from Fozzy. I tried to steal it from him, but he didn't let me.
nice. You can't just shit on a band and then try to steal
Listen,
one. Get out of
listen.
here.
I don't care about the fucking shitty band. I just want Chris Jericho's autograph. There's a difference.
That's fair. I would also like to have Chris Jericho's
It's
autograph.
like
I'll, I'll,
I don't want fucking let me look up Jeff Hardy's band name real quick and then I'll make my point.
I
Jeff
can almost
Hardy
remember it.
band
Is it
name.
like peroxygen or something, or
Peroxygen.
peroxygen or something?
Yes.
Yeah. How
I'm
the
sorry.
fuck do I remember
Excuse me. Quick development. I googled Jeff Hardy band name. People also ask which Hardy brother died.
that? Oh, both of them.
I do not even know what to think of this. What the? That's fucking weird.
Oh man.
Neither
Okay.
is the answer, children. All right.
So overall, I thought Raw was better.
Yeah.
Um,
If for nothing else,
Raw,
just for the main event.
yeah, even if just for the main event. But the big thing that Raw did, that not necessarily saying that SmackDown didn't do this, because I felt both of those shows did this, but Raw did it better, was progressing storylines.
Yes.
Raw did a really good job of progressing pretty much every storyline going on in the company right now. Like even with Apollo Crews, they did something with him. The match he had wasn't notable at all, but like they still are progressing things with him.
Yeah.
Like
The whole in
the
the main event, that set up 3 different feuds all at once.
yeah, like the main event, like it's set up Bray versus Finn.
Mhm.
It's set up Miz Ambrose again,
Yep.
and it continued Rollins Joe, which I'm actually kind of glad that that's continuing, just because I want them to have another try.
Yeah.
I feel like given better circumstances, they could probably put on a better match.
I agree.
I'd
see
like
that.
to see I'd like to see less focus on the knee.
Yes.
A lot less focus on the knee, please, please, please.
Less
Please?
shitty knee bars.
Yeah, less shitty knee bars.
That
too.
was
I
such
just
an
want them.
unforgivable part
I
of that
just
match
want
to
them
me.
to. I just want them to have a good 15, 20 minutes of just bashing heads and doing all sorts of
Yeah.
big crazy moves and stuff without too much of the previous story BS being involved.
Yep.
Just have a bloodbath of a match, and it should be good.
Yeah.
But like the women's division overall also developed forward. Like I said, the IC title in general is progressing. Even with the tag teams, there's still like a bit of progression there thanks to the heel turn. Like we're seeing a lot of development, and this week did a good job of showcasing that. For Raw more so than SmackDown. Like SmackDown did a decent job of it too, but I felt that Raw has a bit of a better vision going forward. Whereas I feel like SmackDown right now, other than a couple of, there's still like a lot of confusion as to what's going to happen. Like
Yeah.
the U.S. title, like we know what's happening with the U.S. title. Kevin Owens is going to be defending it against AJ Styles. We know that. We know what's going on with the WWE title, which I have a rant about that in a bit. But like other than that, like I guess yeah, we have the titles are kind of sort of situated. Like we know what's going on with the tag titles, but we don't really know what's happening between. Kind of weird. The women's,
Yeah.
I think they're hinting towards Carmel and Naomi, but I also
What?
feel like they might.
That's what
I don't know.
That's what you got from this?
Well,
Carmella Naomi?
I was getting a New Japan perspective because in New Japan, if you pin the champ in a typically that leads to a title shot within
Oh,
like,
they're
the next
never
like couple of weeks or something.
I'm actually glad you pointed
They
these two
might
out.
give them a.
Sorry.
I feel like
I'm
they
actually-
might give them a match, but go ahead.
Sorry. I'm actually glad you pointed those two out because there's a part of their match. It was right at the beginning. Carmella was going for these wacky kicks, and Naomi just wasn't selling. And I was like, why isn't she selling these kicks? She shouldn't be in kayfabe that much stronger. And then I realized she has so much ass that the kicks are ineffective.
The cushion.
She has ass cushion from the kicks, and they're playing this into story, and I love it.
Yeah, she just has ass for days, and she can tank any sort of kick.
She just took the kicks and no-sold them and kicked back so much harder, and it took me a minute to realize why, and I was like, oh yeah.
Yep, I'm down for that. Yeah, I feel like maybe they'll give them like I don't know if it'll be for the title, but I feel like there could possibly be some sort of singles match. I don't like. I see like the hint of a title match there. I don't think I want to see that.
There's no.
But I feel like it's-
I feel like that sorry, Carmel getting the pin there was just for some form of legitimacy for the
Yeah,
group,
maybe.
and just for the sake of the 6-man making any sense. And then after the 6-man, they'll do either a triple threat or just the one-on-one with Charlotte again, and Charlotte wins. I'm still
Maybe.
astounded they didn't put the belts on Charlotte immediately. Like, I honestly would have done it the second week she was on the show.
I want to see I want to see Naomi hold it a bit longer. And quite frankly,
Charlotte's just so much
my thing-
better than everyone else on the show, is the problem.
Yeah, but that's why I don't want the title on her just because that'll just end up being more of this. Just it's like what's that one track? It was like same old shit, different day or something like that. I don't know. That's what essentially it would be. It's like we'd be seeing the same shit. It'd just be on a Tuesday, and I feel like we're already getting to that on Raw, where it's the same shit, but it's just on a Monday with Alexa having the title. Granted, I like her having the title because I love her character, but part of me just wants to see Nia have the title already, man. I want to tear through everybody.
What the fuck?
Oh
Why
my
do you
God.
want that? That's
Because
like saying
I
you want
like-
Jinder with the title.
I do.
What?
I think that would be hilarious.
You have lost your mind.
Do you? Okay, so you want Orton to hold on to that title forever then?
I want him to hold it past the Jinder Mahal feud.
No. I want Jinder to win that stuff.
You
Man.
fucking lost your mind, dude.
No, and you know what? Not only do I want the Singh brothers to win the tag titles as well. I want them to be a fucking power stable. I want this to happen.
Okay, listen. You know what? I'll buy Jinder. I'll buy Jinder holding that fucking belt. I'll buy that he can get a dirty win. I will not, for the life of me, believe that the collective 200-pound Bollywood boys can fucking beat the Usos. You can't tell me that.
Oh, come on. They're not gonna beat the Usos. They're gonna beat a different team that's gonna take
They're
them.
gonna beat no one because they're the fucking Singh brothers, or whatever the fuck their wacky name is now. And they're 4 pounds. You know
Come
the
on,
old.
give them a bit of credit. They're more.
You
They're
know the old.
300 pounds combined.
Oh no. Okay, fine. By default. You know the old expression.
They're two cruiserweights. What do you
Listen,
expect?
listen. You know the old expression that you should only trust someone as far as you can throw them. They would be
Yeah,
very,
I
very, very trustworthy
know.
because you could throw them extremely far.
Yes, I'll put the titles
So,
on.
so while we're on this, let's wrap it up with this. Jinder Mahal. What do you think?
Okay, so this was something I did want to talk, and this will get the title right. So, Jinder, I'm not convinced is anything right now, but he's got something. He's got the look of a champion, as weird as that sounds, and
Okay.
it's not in every single situation where he necessarily looks like a champion. But when you see the Singh brothers behind him, and you see him just standing there looking fierce, he looks like a champ. Like
Right.
he looks like he's a big guy if I remember correctly.
Like, yeah, he's huge.
Or at least he's not tiny.
Oh no.
Yeah, like he's like, how tall is he? I think he's like 6'5" or something like
Probably
that.
taller than that. I'll look it up.
Yeah, he's 6'5". He's a big guy. Like, and when he's standing next to like his Bollywood boy buddies, like he looks massive and he looks
Yeah.
threatening and he's so veiny and he's
I'm sorry.
Like-
Quick note.
Yeah.
The most recent tweet by Jinder Mahal is a Instagram link that's captioned "The Legend Killer Killer."
oh god, why Jinder? Oh, he's trying. He's trying his best. So, my problem with this is I'm scared that they're not going to do a good enough job of building.
Oh, of course
Because
not.
I feel like what could happen from this is that they build him up decently well over the next couple of weeks. He has the match, and it's not just a squash, which I'm afraid they might do. But if they make it competitive, get his little goons involved, whatever. He doesn't have to win. Obviously, winning would be
Of
hilarious. Again, that'll go into my rant. He doesn't have to win, but if he looks good, even in loss, I feel like they can gain a positive out of that, because even if he isn't in the main event scene, that's still another star that they built, and they can have him be like just a mid-carder or even upper mid-card if they want to for a while.
Yeah, that's my.
He can be the guy that has that feud with someone where you're like, I wonder what's going to happen here. Either way, you'll have some sort of investment because Jinder will look seriously. He'll look serious during that feud. He won't just be a jobber to the stars. And even if he is a jobber to the stars, so what? Like, not everyone is main event material. Not everyone is going to be, winning titles and winning all these pay-per-view matches and stuff. He'll just be a guy that will look really good against another up-and-comer or main eventer or whatever.
That is my one defense of this. So, like, now, no matter what they do, they have a guy that can do something.
Yeah.
As opposed to before,
Exactly.
where Jinder was just a warm body, basically.
Yeah,
Now, there's a better way to do it than just throwing him in a fucking world title match. But for the purposes,
Exactly,
they're accomplishing something.
I feel that what they did with him this week was how they should have started.
Yes.
Although they should have had him win a bit more clean. He should have just won clean. But I feel like no, come on. Like, if you're building somebody up, even if he's a heel, even if he's a dirty heel, you need at least a clean win. And if there's one dude on the roster who takes clean losses when you don't want him to, it's Sami Zayn.
Yeah, fair.
Like Sami Zayn is the one guy, because Sami will never look bad. Sami can have like a horrible losing streak, and just because of the fact that he's a good wrestler and he's fun to watch, like you'll never not believe in him. You know he's going to lose the match. So like he's someone that you can get a clean win on, and he can still look legit. So just have Jinder beat him clean.
Yeah, fair.
And then, Jinder beats him clean. He looks a bit better for his title match. And then so what if he loses to Orton? Because it's probably going to happen anyway. They're probably going to have Orton hold it for a while until some, like, big face wins it off of him. Whether it's Styles beating him or something, or having I don't know, whoever else they want to bring up.
Right.
It's probably gonna be. I feel like it's probably gonna be Styles. Other
I think it's
Styles
gonna
are
be
like
Styles, but Styles loses it immediately. Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
From the biggest of banter.
What? What if they put it on or not Jinder? No. What if they teased Rusev?
Listen, they cannot take us from a Jinder feud to a Rusev feud. I can't handle. My heart can't take it.
I know. I get kind of crazy sometimes when I do this sort of thing.
The thing is, I think that's where they're going. I think that's going to be the Money in the Bank match. I think it's going to be Randy versus Rusev. Because you saw the promo with Rusev last week, right?
Yeah, he wants a Money in the Bank title match.
And I mean, I doubt it's going to be the fucking US belt.
Kevin Owens, Rusev? That doesn't sound...
I don't want to see that.
Unless they... I don't want to see that either. It would be a good match, but I don't want to see it because I don't want to see Rusev losing to Kevin Owens.
Yeah, and what would it do? I don't know. But same time, what would Randy Rusev... I don't know what they're doing. The world title belt is a mess right now.
Yeah, and you know what? That's going to lead into my rant.
Go for it.
This on fucking because I am so... I'm actually mad. Like, I'm actually really mad with how it's being treated. The WWE Championship, it's not a main event title anymore. It is honestly a mid-card title. The US title, since it's been on SmackDown, and even a bit before then, been treated a hell of a lot better than the WWE Championship. Just look at card placements on SmackDowns. Like, the whole WWE title feud was put on the back burner.
Right.
Even when Bray was holding it, it was like on the back burner, and the emphasis was either on the US title or the IC title or something different. The WWE title is starting to fall into that position that the World Heavyweight title was in, where it was just treated as a mid-card title. And even though it was supposed to be like the big, like main title of this promotion, or this roster, it's not. It's not at all. It's like, it's just looked at as another title, even though it's literally the most prestigious wrestling title. It's being treated like crap. So like, I'm really happy that the US title is being built up well, because it looks like a serious main event title, but it shouldn't be that way. The US title should not be the title that's being built up this well. I want it being built up well, obviously, with all titles, but I don't think that it should be the one getting all of this crazy attention and great matches. This should be AJ Styles and Kevin Owens fighting over the WWE Championship, not the US title. Like, get some other guys on your roster that are good. Like, have Jinder and Randy fight over the US title or something. Like, like, that's not any more interesting, but it's what should be happening.
So my defense of this, my defense of this to them, and I agree with you for the most part, but I guess the defense is that Randy is a bigger mainstream star than anyone else on the roster right now. And having this belt on him, even if he's feuding with a Jinder Mahal, he's the biggest thing on the show to someone on the outside looking in. So, despite the wackiness of it, to us as people who watch the show every week, it's just, as a business decision, I guess it makes sense, especially with supposedly Jinder's push being aligned with the push into India. So, I mean, it's not... like, I agree with you for the most part, but I guess I understand the business of it.
Yeah, from a business perspective, like you said, like Randy's a big name. He's out of like all the active people in the company right now, he's the biggest name. Because obviously I'm not counting Cena. So, but like, you know, people know Randy, and him having this is not a bad thing. And you know what? I'm not even against him being champion, but what I'm against is the booking of the title. Like, if he were defending it as a proper main event title against people that are a bit more deserving, or, you know, Jinder's like, okay, whatever, like, that's kind of cute, but at least have it in the main event of the card. Give it proper focus. It's not receiving proper focus right now. It's receiving the attention that, you know, a mid-card feud is receiving, and that's wrong. It's completely wrong. and and I hate it because I knew this was going to happen with the brand split. I knew that the second the brands actually started to exist again, I knew that one of those world championships was treated like dog shit. And it was the Universal title for a while, and to me, I was like, well, whatever. They never properly established it, so I guess they're just putting that off until later. And then they start to make it something of a deal. I don't know. They've never booked that belt properly. And like, it's always been a bitch boy belt. But now that they're trying sort of to make it look a bit more legitimate, they're magically putting the WWE title on the back burner for the US Championship. Like, really?
Sorry about that. I had a minor interruption.
That's fine. I just ranted about the title more, and just the way that they are booking their titles right now is just, it's so piss poor. Like, looking at both brands, the Universal title just looks like shit. Hasn't looked good at all ever in its history, because it's only had a history of about a year now, almost. The IC title, they're doing things with it again, which is nice, but it still looked like crap up until this point because of that, not so great Dean Miz feud. The tag titles are doing okay. I feel like that was the one thing that was actually sort of okay. They could have been treated a bit better, but could be a lot worse. At least the champs are on TV and either defending it or fighting. The Raw Women's Championship, it was in a bit of a mess, but I think it's going to be all right now with. Now looking at SmackDown, tag titles. What even are they? The U.S. title looks like $1 million. I would say that the U.S. title looks like it's the best looking title in the company right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just based off of the storylines and who is involved. You look at the main roster caliber involved with that title. Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, Baron Corbin, AJ Styles, even a little bit of Sami Zayn to an extent. You look at the people that are involved with that title. That is like main event caliber people that are feuding over a tertiary title. It's not even a secondary title. WWE treats it as a tertiary title. And it's being feuded over by main event talent.
Yeah.
And then you look at the WWE title, and it's Randy Orton and some other guys that we seldomly believe. And it's being treated like dog shit. Ever since AJ lost it, I've been skeptical of it. Like, yeah, Cena won it just to lose it. Like, he was literally a transitional champ. Wanted to lose it to Bray, who then proceeded to almost do something with it. Like, because he was beating people clean, and it was like, hey, Bray's doing something with the title. This is so cool. And then he lost it. Just like that, in a very shitty match. Sure. So and then the SmackDown Women's Championship, I will actually say, has been treated pretty well. Yeah. Actually, I'm okay with the SmackDown Women's title. I think that they've actually been doing well with it.
Generally,
there's not much you can do about. Yeah, generally, like there's been some bad moments, but it's generally been treated well. The injury to Naomi was unfortunate. There was not much they could do about that. And I know with Brock Lesnar, he holds the title. But, like, I understand the thing with Naomi. They can't just have an injured person holding a title and not do matches. Like, it's one thing to not defend it, but it's another to not defend it and be injured. Because at least when you're not injured, it means that you are physically capable of doing it. So if they were to pull some sort of swerve, that could work. But you couldn't pull a swerve with Naomi. She couldn't get into the ring and fight. So, it was essentially forfeiting it. Because, like, Brock, if they were like, yo, Brock, we need you to defend the title. Here's another couple $1 million. How's that sound? He'll do it.
Yeah, sure.
He might need a bit of time to prep himself, but he'll do it. So that's my title rant there. Title rant, that sounds weird. But yeah. So
we've been going for about another hour now. I think we should probably wrap it up for the sake of this not taking a year.
Yeah. Just some closing thoughts. Overall closing thoughts and like a mailbag thing that we're gonna get to in a bit. overall this week, I think the wrestling has been okay. Raw was good. Pay-per-view could be better. SmackDown could be better. I like this format that we're doing.
Yep.
Just as a note, in the future, we are going to have another guest. Probably going to be Briss. Might be some other people if we can find somebody.
Sure.
Will never be Brian Alvarez. No, don't like that guy. Never want him on the show.
Hey now, hey. I'll take that
No.
publicity.
He'll just call us a bunch of dirty marks, and
Well,
just
he's
like I
right.
call everyone else. Just because I want to see weird things happen to make me a dirty. I'm not doing it because because Jindo's the best. No, I just want to see funny shit happen. Because if you're not gonna entertain me with in-ring stuff and storylines, you might as well throw something in a left field and make me laugh.
Those are the worst
damn.
Indian accents ever been attempted.
Oh, it wasn't an Indian accent.
Oh, it wasn't?
No, I don't know what
Okay.
it was.
I was
just
gonna say,
supposed
Freight's
to be
gonna
in
sue.
I can do better Indian accents. I can't do them on request though.
Yeah,
But
fair enough.
anyway, yeah. So the format going further, it's not gonna be this long because we're not gonna have pay-per-views to talk about it every week. But pay-per-view episodes will be a bit longer to cover that and the shows.
We'll probably refine the
so, yeah,
format as time goes on. We may
We'll
we may even do like specific shows to the pay-per-views so that we don't spend like an hour talking about the TV as well.
we'll have
We'll figure it out.
we can do like special episodes along with the weeklies. Oh god, especially because if we have to talk about NXT and a pay-per-view,
Fuck.
we'll
think about
probably have to do like I think what we'll have to do in the future, what we'll probably end up doing is like a special like just post weekend episode, just quickly talking about Mania or not Mania, talking about the pay-per-view, talking about the NXT show, just to get it out of the way, just so we don't have a million things to talk about on a Thursday
I can see that.
or a Wednesday night or Thursday. Also, we're going to be starting a mailbag feature. So for any of you that are still listening to this, thank you very much. I understand if you had tuned out an hour prior, but
Cool, we
So
have
what we're
fans.
gonna be
I don't know what you
doing-
mean.
yeah, we have marks.
Freight,
So
I know you're
what we're
listening.
going to be yeah. I honestly I don't even think Briss is going to listen all the way through.
He'll skip through and find all the parts about Brock.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing a mailbag segment around the end of the shows, and it's like a mailbag segment with any other show you've heard of before. You will send in questions. We'll have like a Google form submission thing set up so that you can put down your name, put down your questions, and we're not going to answer all of them obviously, but we're going to pick out some good ones, and we're going to take turns answering it, have a bit of an open discussion with it. Should be a good time. So I don't know when we'll have that set up. Probably around the time we get this published.
Maybe.
We'll talk about that after. But yeah, so send us your questions, and we'll do our best to answer them.
Yep.
So I think that wraps up the PSPW podcast. Again, for those of you who have been listening all the way through, thank you very much. I'm Quote, and that's Peef Rimgar,
Hey.
and we'll see you again next week.